You're watching Action News Now. Storm Tracker weather. Coverage you can count on.
Here's a live look at the Bureau of Reclamation Shasta Dam camera in Shasta County. Beautiful shot.
And again, look at the shadows on the face of the dam there. You can clearly see that the sun is going down as we now are in the fall season. It would be nice, Howie, if the temperatures reflected in the fall
If it
season.
matched, I agree. It's going to match. It's a week off this year.
Right.
Whereas last year, I think it took a couple of weeks to match. But yes, we're going to catch up. It's just going to be a week delayed. Here's another shot of Alert California Live in Skip Hill, in Tehama, looking off towards the northeast. And that is California beautification at its finest. Partly cloudy and mild for tonight. Hot through the middle of the week. But we're getting there. We're getting to the end. Cooler by the weekend. All right, here's a look at our satellite radar. So high pressure moved off. Storms are moving closer from the south. Not quite in our area. You're just seeing some light clouds maybe get into the fringe of our area, and then light rain. I'm seeing nothing for the yellows, the oranges, and reds for the heavier rain anywhere you go on the radar, and then most of it in the higher elevations. But again, very much on the light side. Wouldn't be surprised if you didn't see anything in the way of rain. Now, winds did pick up today with all of that movement. We don't like to see that when we're still as hot and dry as we are, but the winds will subside. They'll be a lot weaker for tomorrow. Overnight, coming down a little bit into the low to mid 60s for the valley. Chester 49, Bernie dropping to 49 degrees as well. So you don't need power for areas in the higher elevations. I still think you need that air conditioning before the temperatures eventually do cool overnight in the valley. Tomorrow, again, cooler than yesterday, about the same as today. And again, right around average. That's where we got knocked back to average temperatures for this time of year. Here's the futurecast. You've seen that cloud development, and anything really you see in the way of rain, mostly in the higher elevations, but is almost as light as can be, barely getting even picked up on the radar. Okay, here are those storms I talked about. This is Thursday now. They moved up, high pressure moved up. But what happens as we get closer to Friday? High pressure from the ocean now pushes our way. We'll heat up for about a day and a half. Then as we get to the second half of the weekend, you'll start to see the jet stream dropping down from the northwest, and some of that storm activity moving closer. Low pressure again from the south, kind of closing the gap on us. We're going to start to see a real fall type of weather after the weekend, because this week didn't, as we just talked about it just didn't match up. It'll be more reflective of a fall type of weather pattern coming up. Let's take a look at that on the 7 days. So, okay, Thursday, 92, but then we heat back up Friday. You saw high pressure advancing from the ocean, but then storms from the south, storms from the north, they start closing the gap by the second half of the weekend. And look what happens next week. Look at those temperatures topping out at around 70 or maybe not even getting there, with rain chances as well. That is a closer reflection of the times as we said it just took a week to arrive.
All right, I love that. Thanks, Howie.